Morning, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? I sure as hell ain't. It's the 19th of January, 2026. And right now it's 4:09 in the morning and I should be back in bed sleeping. I blame her for it. Winding her head up all the damn night. Except maybe an hour or two when I can actually do sleep. Anyway, I was doing a shout out to Artist in Recovery / Gerald P. about his wonderings of 1950 compared to now. Oh. He was watching a lot of TV shows, he says these days, trying to see how they were back then. Yeah, I'll try to see the documentary reels and read the books. Take some history courses. Get a little more information about out of it instead of watching the damn TV shows. Yeah, we had our hopes. Well, we had our fears. He didn't say about that one, did he? Schmuck. No, because back in the 1950s, we had our Cold War scare. We had the monsters coming out. Actually, we did have the monsters coming out about the 1930s, 40s, 50s when they had movies coming out. Ed Wood was one of those film directors out there making those cheesy films. B-rated cheesy films. Just to scare people left and right. You had the attack of the foil wrap. You had the attack of the plastic wrap. You had the attack of the rubber. And of the strange garbed people. And then you had Rod Serling coming out trying to make it everything so cerebral. Trying to make it a little bit more intelligent and trying to scare the shit out of us at the same damn time. Giving us anthologies to demonstrate how screwed up we were back in the 50s and 60s. We even had the Adel Embassy show that one too. But then we had the hopeful series like Star Trek coming out. Or people get lost in space, literally. Or how about Voyage into the Bottom of the Sea? Irwin Allen getting his own thing in there. Of course, you had children's shows and cartoons coming out of the future. And yes, if I had remembered one particular West Wing episode where Leo McGarry, the chief of staff to President Bartlett, was talking to another person while going through the hallways of the West Wing. He was griping and complaining that his future was robbed because we didn't have the flying jetpacks or the flying cars or anything else like that. We didn't have the Jetsons. Yeah, no kidding. We didn't. We sure as hell wasn't in the Flintstone ages, but mentally we probably were. Prehistoric to the max. So yeah, I grew up on those shows. Not to mention Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Woody Woodpecker, Roadrunner, and Wile E. Coyote. Yeah, I remember watching those kind of cartoons, getting brain dead about those things. Or other cartoons that came out in the 70s that seemed to be a little bit more lower or higher rated. But I always watched the Farm Report around 5 o'clock in the morning. And watched it from the bars on the television screen changing to a weather scene. And then you hear the pleasant music. How to keep it down to keep the family from not knowing that I'm watching cartoons again on Saturdays. But they knew it. So I'd watch the cartoons. I wasn't paying attention to the damn television shows enough to see how our life was supposed to be. Except maybe if you turned on late night television or around 8 to 10 o'clock, then you had a comedy series coming out there and you're laughing your heads off at All in the Family. Long live and God rest the soul of Rob Reiner. And everybody else on the show too. Jane Stapleton. And oh good Lord, I'm gonna get my head kicked on this one. Archie Bunker. And the daughter, Sally Struthers. Oh God. Yeah, I watched those shows. I laughed at them. I didn't realize what the hell I was laughing at because I couldn't get the joke, but I laughed anyway because everybody else laughed. I was a kid. What the hell do I know? I watched sci-fi shows. And not just the 50s and 60s, but the 70s when they came about. Nice cheesy effects they had. But as for ideology during that time, I didn't think about anything that was going to be affecting us, like the Cold War, except maybe a threat of a nuclear bomb maybe hitting on us. But that wasn't rarely talked about as much, was it? No, because we in the classes had to do duck and cover all the damn time. For what? I don't know. Something we had to do. So that's what we did, to duck and cover. We didn't feel we were under tyranny. Except I wasn't an adult. I was a young kid dealing with, vaccinations. And having one vaccination damn near killed me because my body was allergic to penicillin. Still is to this day. I get that dose and I'm not here anymore. So, what else? Oh yeah, I discovered that Mother Nature has a temper. A nasty one. Damn near destroyed the San Fernando Valley back in 71. And it did it again in 94. Discovered the wonderful world of geology right underneath your feet, ready to scare the fuck out of you. I read about a lot of things that would terrorize a kid. I didn't think about that, did I? No, I thought about the bullies on the street ready to terrorize me. And I had to learn how to fight. Despite me having a damn chest that got opened and had a heart fixed and died 3 times, come back to life. And I had to heal up on that one and dealing with the doctors, pokes and prods and everything else going on. Yeah, they didn't think that would cause kids torment? No! They can deal with it. They're tough kids. Years down the road, we got PTSD from other shit like this. Come on, give me a fucking break. But now, these days, it's like take your pick on the horror that we're dealing with. If it's one thing dealing with some madman on a television screen telling you that you're un-American because you believe in these particular ideas and ideologies, and therefore you should be tried and jailed or done something worse. No, because right now in this current day and age of 2026, we have our freedom of speech attacked on a constant basis. That only one opinion that counts, and if you say anything about it, you're a dirty, rotten traitor. Coming from a fucking immigrant who got educated in South Africa, but not enough on American history, but he knew enough to break our system. And yet, he blames teachers for the lack of education that we had? Oh, man. But he's the richest and smartest guy around. No, he's a fucking asshole, that's what he is. But he did Tesla, he did this, he did that. Well, good for him. He did it, I didn't. And he's fucking over people left and right. And he had to support the major asshole in our century. Or coming up during the 1900s through this time. Of how he's fucking us over left and right. Getting us into war situations, breaking up ties with our allies. We have no more allies. We have everybody else looking at it with such disdain, with laughter, with hard looks at us. Our trading partners are gone, just about. We have no support because we're breaking up ties with NATO and with the UN and haranguing our own citizens. We're bringing in the fucking army, the 101st Airborne from Alaska to Minneapolis because it's fucking freezing over there. Just on Trump's say-so if the Insurrection Act is going to happen. The insurrection happened back in the 1800s. They created this damn monster. I think either before or after Civil War. Which would have the military come into towns. But right after the Civil War, we had posse comitatus, which is the law, still to this day, preventing the military from becoming a police force. But that's what Trump wants, is a military police force. He's so enamored with China and Russia's way of dealing with things that, you know, he wants money, power, influence. He wants to be like every one of those damn despots. And he's working on it a great deal. He sees the people belly aching at him, and he's saying, well, I'm going to get my insurrection act going on, and I'm going to terrorize them. I'm Donald Trump. I want it my way. He's going to be surprised. A lot of people here are not following his way of thinking at this point. He wants violence. He wants it. I don't think he's been spanked enough as a kid or hit upside the head by his father. I don't think so. He doesn't know what it's like to get into a damn fight. You have your face bloodied, but at least you walked home proud because you bloodied the son of a bitch we were fighting against. He never had a G.I. Joe toy broke, and then you make retribution out the guy's face in blood at a church and consecrate it in blood. He has done nothing except be a con artist, a grifter. Thinks he knew about real estate. Bullshit at people left and right. He's so smart, he's having worldwide calamity here. He still wanted Canada. He still wanted Greenland. He's conquered, well, he claims he conquered Venezuela. I am surprised that the people haven't raised up an army yet. No, because they're happy that Maduro's gone, and Trump's going to take care of him, right? Bullshit. Trump fell in love with all these assholes who are ruining people's lives. He wants to be one of them. And grift as much money as he can. He wants $1 billion from each country. And so does his kids. All the way down to his fucking newest brat. His name is Barron, I think. And he's doing the same shit. They're all just as equally guilty and worthless as hell. Now, artists were saying something about 1950s. Compared to here, back then we were still trying to get our capitalism going. We were trying to get recovery from World War II. But unfortunately, because we had the Cold War scare and the event of nuclear weapons, you dumb schmuck, you don't even forget about this one, did you? Oh, we talked about vaccinations and how vaccinations were helping people out back then. Only when they said that they needed to take the vaccinations. These days, we got an asshole or a Department of Health and Human Services telling people that they don't need your vaccinations. You don't need them as a kid. You don't need them, period. You got your own natural antibodies. That should work. Yeah, and what was our death tolls throughout human history at this point? When we didn't have the vaccinations? Well, of course, he doesn't give a shit anyway. He's too damn stupid anyway. Legal doesn't equate to medical. And this guy's a descendant of the Kennedys? Oh, God help him. God help every one of them. Yeah. Well, we worried about the 1950s. We had to build bomb shelters. Homeowners had to spend money on an underground brick-laced bomb shelter to see if the damn thing was going to keep out the radiation for how long again? 2 or 3 weeks? Before the dust settled, and then they come out and still get radioactified because the whole damn landscape is dying. Or dead. All you order is just Bam in a can. If you got dropped by a nuclear bomb, you might as well get into the blast wave and just not deal with life anymore. We had the hydrogen and super hydrogen weapons tested out. Weren't they nice? But they were testing them out statesides in different areas and not used on anybody else for that matter. Because they were just too damn dangerous. Bikini Atoll Islands out in the Pacific waters is still radioactified to this date. Radiation has a half-life, and this life goes on for thousands of years. Because the amount of radiation we keep pumping on people left and right. Some of those people who were in the process of getting these tests going, filming, building, getting exposed to the radioactive elements. They got cancer and they died. How's that grab you? We're not dealing with that right now, but we got ancient technology and ancient weapons that either needs to be dismantled or still tested. And if they do work, that's still scary enough. Imagine going through underwater in a submarine full of nuclear missiles ready to blow things up. And afraid of that technology getting in the hands of everybody else. But we got it. It's happening all over. We're worried about smart missiles. Ones are going hypersonic, faster than the missiles we've got right now, and faster than any missile shield we can put up. It's been touted around by China and Russia. If it's legitimate, we're fucked. Think about that one. Watching all those nice future shows back then compared to now. Artist was wondering how come we didn't get into that kind of situations. Capitalism, greed, money. It would cut into profits. The technology wasn't there to entice people, be considered futures. But since we didn't have the technology, we didn't have the prototypes working, and consistently, we couldn't get manufacturing going on them because it would take different materials, more materials than we have right now. Of course, we're comfortable with our cell phones and our technology, our computerized technology. Now we need more minerals from everybody. And as I've been trying to explain in my videos, there's only two things why we go after each other: resources and our fucking egos. Think about that. We're going after different places under Trump. He wants his ego built. He's making deals with the Middle East of putting his name all over the fucking place. Build these huge edifices with his name on there in gold for billions. It's supposed to mean what? Sucker? United States is a loser and a sucker? That's how it is. That's how we're perceived. Back in London, there was supposed to be this game going on. And somebody was singing the anthem of the United States. There was a heckler throughout saying, "Leave Greenland alone," and there was a lot of cheers during the national anthem of the United States. But the anthem continued as if nobody heard, right? Yeah, right. But it was a slap to the face of the United States when we get heckled. Rightfully so. Because we did this to ourselves, we don't even admit it. We don't admit to ourselves being accountable, transparent, or responsible for anything. Blame the fucker. Blame the other guy, but don't blame yourself. That's how we are. And that's how we're crashing and burning. So when we get our 250th anniversary going on, I ain't fucking putting up the flag. I ain't putting up any damn red, white, and blue shit. I'm going to say, fuck y'all. You did this to ourselves. You did this to everybody. Be accountable, be transparent, and be responsible, assholes. It's all your fault. You voted the shit in November 2024. Balls in your court. What are you going to do? Trump wants you to do blood on him. But everybody else doesn't want it either. That being said,